Hello! All the way up at the Sharkstooth trail number 620 in the San Juan National Forest, kind of northwest of Durango. And let's take a look at the mappy here. Plan today was to go to Centennial, but it's pretty cloudy and thundering, so I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm going to give it a try. I hope you'll follow me to Centennial Trail, which is off of the Sharkstooth Trail number 620. So this little draw up here on the left before you get up to the saddle, there was some mining that went on, small scale. You can see a water wheel that was right here, which they used to run some ore. They had a ball mill, which was where they have iron balls, kind of like cannonballs. They put them in a cylinder tank, and then as that wheel turned, which has long been disintegrated, it would crush the ore, and then they could float it out or use a sluice box, like in the picture right here, to separate the ore from the other stuff, the wheat from the chaff, as it were. So maybe they were trying to prospect and see if this was worthwhile for a larger undertaking, or maybe they just were doing small scale on purpose. I don't know, but it's very interesting, and it just shows you how important natural resources have been in the Rocky Mountains for a long time. Another interesting sign right here on this hillside. In 1930, there was a Williams mill, and 4 men lived in this boarding house, which is basically like a large log cabin. You can see the ruins of it, some of the old timbers and some metal parts right there. Looks like maybe an ore cart or something. I'm not really sure what that is. Let's zoom in a little bit. What do you think that is? Let me know in the comments. Interesting, 1930, mind you, but the wages were $2 a day, plus they gave you meals, and I guess since there was a boarding house, you had lodging as well. So not a bad gig, although probably a tough one. The cliff across the stream was where the mine was. I don't really see any remnants of it. Maybe where that exposed rock is above the creek right there. But they had a 130-foot mine in there that they detonated explosives and used steel hammers and chisels to make those holes in the rock. And because of the fault line here of Terry Rock, which the other part of it is over by the other side of La Plata Canyon, there's actually valuable mines there, so people continuously have been interested in this. There supposedly is gold here as well, but so far no valuable ore has been discovered. So pretty interesting how this continues to entertain people that want to explore the area for valuable ore. So interesting thing, right across the way here from where I was standing a second ago, looking at where the boarding house was. There was an old road that came in 1988, a company called Newmont Exploration. They brought in a drilling machine and busted a road through here. But you can't tell because they drilled in there going hundreds of feet below the surface. In summary, found out it wasn't viable enough to really do anything. So they abandoned the project and replanted grass and native vegetation. You can't even tell really that it's there. And you can see in the picture where that Bronco is sitting. Right there. Beautiful scene here though. I mean, it just shows you that exploration of minerals and natural resources can happen without permanent damage to the environment. Beautiful scene, huh? Looks pretty cloudy. Not sure how much further we're going to push today. Looks like the trail joins back here. There's also a trail here. So we're going to see which way the trail goes back and maybe see where we can go from here. So you can see the sign that I just filmed at where the drilling and the road part was talking about. The historical trail looks like it's a spur trail off of the main trail, just kind of some mining areas. But look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? You can't see all of it. The very top of it is obscured by clouds. But wow, that's beautiful. You can hear some water or something running down below. That's Hesperus Mountain. And you can see all the snow is still up there. We're far enough north and still up high enough because we're at over 11,000 feet that the snow is lasting. It may last throughout the summer because it is early July. It's July the 3rd, 2025, day before the 4th. Okay. Kind of at a decision point here. Almost running out of trees. But way in the distance up there, you can see Sharkstooth. It looks very much like a shark's tooth. And that's cool. Someday I might do that guy. But probably right now, no. And then over here, we're gonna zoom out. You can see Centennial is through the trees over there. But going above timberline with the cloud cover and some thunder every now and then. All right. So this is about as far as we're gonna go. We're right at the edge of the tree line. There are some stragglers behind me that are just kind of hanging on for dear life. But you can see they get smaller and smaller. There's one little grouping up on top of the mountain right there. And you can just barely see right behind me to the right, well, over this way, whatever that direction that is. You can see the very little tippy tip of Sharkstooth poking up. I'm gonna flip the camera around and follow this ridge line here. You'll end up going to Centennial. You can probably hear a little bit of thunder in the background. They do want you to stay on the trail. There is a sign here that says Fragile Tundra, stay on trail, which I was just remarking that. How cool is that there's tundra this far south. There is some in New Mexico around Wheeler and other places. True alpine tundra, which should be found in like northern Canada and Alaska, all the way down here in Colorado. There goes a little chipmunk just dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. So cute. But someday I'll get to Centennial. It's really not worth it due to potential exposure to lightning, just because you wouldn't be able to see much. As you saw earlier, I'll probably do some more filming of it on the way down, which I do want to get on it at one time too. Headed back down, wanted to give you another view of Hesperus Mountain. So beautiful. Even though you can't see the top. It's like the clouds are getting even lower, so time to head down. Oh wow, that is something. Hesperus is the best for us. Haha. Yeah, it's a little spur trail here off the main trail. Just gives this lovely view of the forest below and Hesperus above with all the cloud cover. It's an amazing view. And you can see how it's clearing up to the west. All right, I wanted to finish up that trail, or this tail, rather. This is where you come out or go in. Somebody's got their shoe on the sign. Twin Lakes Sharkstooth Trail, 1.5 miles from this point, and then Aspen Loop Trail actually goes up and joins in here as well. This is Forest Service Road 350, and then the one that going down here is 346. Just a word of caution, you don't necessarily have to have four-wheel drive, but you're gonna have to be very careful if you use anything other than a higher clearance SUV or truck, and that could be a motivating factor on when you come back. We're in the sport track today. I'm not going to show you the sport track. We're in the sport track today, and it wasn't too bad, but it did take a little bit of time to get down there. So the thing about it is be prepared for long travel times on these Forest Service roads, because they are kind of rough. Weather depending, you may not be able to accomplish what you've set out to accomplish, but you still may find that you come out on top and enjoy what you did. Hope you enjoyed this trek into the history of the La Plata Mountains and seeing some of the topography and geography, and I hope you'll watch one of these videos up here. Until next time, see you on the trail. Make sure to like and subscribe for more stuff like this. Thanks.